Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Saturday, July 16th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you? Did you survive all the kids at VBS? And
Yeah.
are you ready to tackle this crazy slate?
Yeah, I survived VBS. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, my Brewers did not survive last night. That was an insane finish. I don't know if you saw what happened.
I did not.
Um,
I was
the
watching
Brewers.
Summer League for our Summer League winning
Oh
line.
yeah. Our summer league was doing well for sure.
Yep.
The Brewers had a 5-2 lead going into the bottom of the ninth with Josh Hader coming in. So you
Wow.
would think,
Oh, that's over.
that
Go to
would be
bed.
exactly. Gives up 2 solo home runs and a grand slam, and they lose 8-5.
Hader gave up 3 bombs?
Yeah, in that
Holy
one
crap.
inning. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So that was a rough way to go to bed for sure.
Man, what a way to blow up his stats for the year, huh?
Yeah, his ERA jumped from 1.8 to like 4.5. Because he doesn't pitch a ton.
No,
So
not many innings.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
yeah. So yeah, there's Brewers fans that are wanting to trade him now and all this stuff, and it's baseball. I mean, anytime you're that dominant over that amount of time, eventually it's going to go the other way at some point, and it all went the other way at once last night for him. So
That's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know, how they have those in-game lines.
yeah.
Can you imagine if you went
Oh, there
against them?
were. Yeah, I saw a couple people that had some parlays, and they had the Brewers money line, and oh my gosh, yeah.
Wow. Well, crazy stuff. I did not see the end of it. I was, like I say, sweating NBA Summer League. That was a blast. And we had a real high finish, a top couple of percentage, which was a miracle because this has been the hardest Summer League in the history. So real pumped that we had some winners there. It was a great day yesterday. Our golfers did terrific. We had some winners for the second round. Just a little bit of everything cashing all over the place. And that's exactly what we're here to do. So if you want to jump on the bandwagon here, join the fun, go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up there for as little as 3 days for $10 if you want to try us out. If you really want to take advantage of our best offer of the year, you can sign up for second half MLB package, which is from now until September 2nd. Is it September 2nd? Is that right?
October 2nd.
Or October 2nd. See, that's why you're here. We have to have the brains here. So it's even better all the way till October 2nd.
Yeah,
So
it's week 4, Coach. It's week 4. Sorry, it's week 4 of the NFL season is what you get. It gets you through. So
beautiful. So it's $110, but you get all of our baseball till then. We have MMA today. We have NASCAR tomorrow. You get all of that through then. You'll be bumping up right into almost NBA preseason, but you're going to get that first NFL. Got all kinds of stuff going. So this really is our best deal. Definitely jump on dfscoachtalk.com. Now, we don't want to take a bunch of time today because it is massively confusing as far as the baseball slate goes. We provide lineups for Draftkings, Fanduel, and Yahoo every day to our members. We give a core group and a clipboard for Draftkings, and then we give full lineups for Fanduel and Yahoo. Well, Saturdays are always difficult because they split everything up differently. Well, it's even crazier today. So we've got early slates, afternoon slates, main slates, evening slates, after you name it. Between DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo, it's all carved up. So what we're going to do for the purposes of today is I'm going to brush on setting the stage because that's, people give me a lot of great feedback. They love the way we set the stage for the 16 games, talk about the implied totals, talk about, the weather, just give a good feel so you can start determining where you want to make your plays. So we're going to go over all 16 games today because there's a doubleheader for the Mets, I believe, have a doubleheader. So we'll touch on those, and then we're going to go over our normal stuff that we do: pay up, value, BVPHR, fade, all that. And that's going to be for the main slate tonight, the 7:15 slate. And then we're also going to build a 2 brains are better than one Fanduel GPP for that 7:15 slate.
Yep.
So you'll get a little piece of everything, no matter what you're going to play today. But then we'll focus on that here as we wrap it up. All right, let's talk about the weather real quick. No problems anywhere except Boston and New York is my biggest concern. And that is a big game, that's for sure. There definitely is a chance of some big rain that could cause a delay or cancellation. So we'll be following Boston and New York very closely all day. That is the biggest question mark. The only other 2 spots I'll mention briefly, slight chance in Colorado for a little rain. Didn't really bother things yesterday. I don't think it will today. The place that always makes me nervous is when there's a game in Washington.
Yeah.
I think it should be okay, but Washington, we all know this, they can cancel on a forecast. You never know. So those are really the only 3 games that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I think we're going to be fine everywhere else, but we'll be posting that in our Discord throughout the day. We'll make sure, some things are tweeted out also on our Twitter. And by the way, we're at DFS Coach Talk. Crash is at JP Davis 1982, and I am at Joe Sarvati. All right, my friend, here we go. 16 games. I'm barely going to take a breath. So if you want to dive in and say anything about any of these, just yell coach and I'll stop. How's that?
Yeah. So before we get started, you're talking the Nationals. Wasn't it just this Tuesday that they postponed a game that looked like it could have played?
You know what? They've done it so much that it's ridiculous. I mean, I know for a fact I got really burned last season. I know it's way back, but I just remember a game that there was 0 rain. There was actual sun. There was a chance of a shower, and they canceled the game. So I don't know if the manager says, hey, our pitchers aren't ready. Let's try to ditch this game. I don't know, but I don't trust it.
Or maybe it's the grounds crew. I don't know, but I don't either. Anytime there's rain in Washington, I usually try and avoid it. So
I know it. I'm with you. All right, my friend, here comes the race. 210, Chicago White Sox, Minnesota Twins, total 8.5. Slight breeze blowing in. Beautiful day in Minnesota, 82 degrees. 4.08 implied for the White Sox, 4.42 for Minnesota. Decent hitting conditions there. Got a cheap price on Lance Lynn, 7.5K, and Dylan Bundy, 7.3K for the Twins. 2:15 game, Cincinnati, St. Louis, 8.5 total. Breeze blowing out to center, 10 miles an hour. And how about this temperature in St. Louis today? 97. They are going to be roasting in St. Louis. It is 3.66 implied for the Reds, 4.84, bigger number for the Cardinals. Nick Lodolo, lefty, 8.2K for the Reds. Miles Michaelis, 8.7K for the Cardinals. That's going to be a cool game, personally. I like that game. 220, New York Mets, Chicago Cubs, 7.5 total. Beautiful day. Slight breeze blowing in from left in Chicago, 77 degrees. 3.90 implied for the Mets, 3.60 for the Chicago Cubs. Taijuan Walker versus Marcus Stroman, and we'll get some updated prices on those guys. And some of these may change. Some of them were updated. I'm going to actually update the list right now in case there's anything that's changed. Okay, yeah, some of these will fill in as we go, and we'll make sure our members have the latest information. 3:07 p.m., Kansas City Royals, Toronto Blue Jays. There's no over-under set that I have right now on this one. It is in the Dome in Toronto. Daniel Lynch, the lefty, at 7.4K against Max Castillo at 7.1K. And we'll just remind everybody that's worked for us. It helped us cash last night. Kansas City has a good chunk of their roster not vaccinated. It did not make the trip to Toronto. All right, we got a Rockies game, buddy. Coors game. Big fat 12 is the over-under. It's a 3:10 game. Slight breeze blowing in for center. Listen to these implied. It's ridiculous, man. Pirates have a 5.71. Wow. And the Rockies a 6.29. It's nuts. Mitch Keller, 7K. Jose Urena, 5.2K. So I guess you can't avoid that game if you're playing that slate because
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, just too many runs on the line there. Then we have this Nationals game. We said there is a chance of rain, 83 degrees. It's a 34% chance of rain is what it says here at the start. So we'll see how that rolls. 5.58 implied for Atlanta, 3.42 implied for the Washington Nationals. Max Fried, 10.4K expensive. Paulo Espino, 6.4K for the Nationals. 405 in the Dome in Texas. The roof's closed because it's 110 down there. Seattle at Texas. 8 total, 4.34 implied for Seattle, 3.66 for the Rangers. Logan Gilbert, the righty, big 9.7K salary. Spencer Howard, 5.7K cheap price for the Rangers. 4:10 p.m. we have the Detroit Tigers and Cleveland Guardians. Breeze blowing in from center, 79 degrees. 8 total here. 3.46 implied for Detroit, 4.54 for the Guardians. Michael Pineda, 6.8K. Cal Quantrill, 8.1K. Pretty expensive for Cal, but we know people have a lot of success against Detroit.
Yep.
4:10, Baltimore Orioles, Tampa Bay Rays in the Dome in Tampa. 8 total, 3.85 implied for Baltimore, 4.15 implied for Tampa. Dean Kramer, our man from Seinfeld, 8.5K for Big Dean now. Ryan Yarbrough, 5.9K. Man, those prices have switched. If you would have said something a year ago on those guys.
Yeah, really.
Pretty bizarre. Another 4:10 game. We've got the Oakland A's, Houston Astros. Only a 7.5 total here. How about 2.39 for the hapless Oakland A's and 5.11 for the Astros? Massive, massive favorite here. Jared Koenig, 5.6K, and Justin Verlander I have is 11.1K. Is that right?
Yeah.
Whew. There's some bucks if you want to play that slate for sure. All right, 4:10, Phillies Marlins, 7.5 total here, 3.75 for Philly, 3.75 for Miami in the Dome there, and at the Marlins. Ranger Suarez, 7.7K, the lefty, against Max Meyer, the dead min for pitchers, 5K. How about that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's tempting. Then you got your Brewers, 7:15. This gets into that evening slate that we're going to be talking about for our picks and our Two Brains lineup. Brewers Giants, 7:15 p.m. Wind blowing out to left center, but we've proven now over time that we don't care that there's an 18 mile an hour wind blowing out to left center because the wind swirls there and it gets cool at night. It's only going to be 64 and the total's only 8. So don't let the wind fool you there. You've got Eric Lauer, the lefty, 3.80 against Alex Cobb, the righty, at 6.2. Okay, so real interesting matchup. I can't wait to get your feedback on that one. 7:15, the game that's the worst weather game as of right now. We'll see how that pans out. It's Boston and New York. In New York, and there's a pretty good chance of rain, 31% at game time. But we're going to follow that close because that decision of playing or fading that game is going to be pivotal. It's an 8 mile an hour breeze blowing in from right center, 79 degrees, 3.676 implied for Boston, a nice 4.74 for the Yankees. It's Nick Pivetta, 9.4K, and Jameson Taillon at 8.1K for the Yankees. 8:05, New York Mets, Chicago Cubs, 7.5 total. Nice breeze blowing in from left, 11 miles an hour. Super comfortable tonight in Chicago for the second night of that second game of that doubleheader. Only 73 degrees. Slight chance of a shower, but it should be just fine. 4.51 implied for the Mets and only 2.99 implied for the Cubs. Looks like we're going to get Max Scherzer versus Drew Smyly. and we'll get some updated prices on those guys as well. Last two games, I told you I was flying through these. Arizona Diamondbacks, San Diego Padres. Breeze blowing out to right center at 5 miles an hour. Comfortable 74, as it always is in San Diego. 3.38 implied for Arizona. 4.62, nice number for the Padres. Tyler Gilbert, the lefty, 5K. Is that right?
Yeah.
How is that possible, too? That's funny.
Yeah.
Sean Manaea, 7.7K for the Padres. So interesting matchup there. Then the last game of the night, 10:07. You got to wait a long time to watch this last game. So we're all going to be hanging on our lineups and where we are in the standings for this LA battle. 10-10 Dodgers at Angels, 4.94 implied for the Dodgers, 3.56 implied for the Angels. A nice warm night in LA, 79 degrees, 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left center. We have Julio Urias at 10.1K, the lefty, and Jose Suarez, 5.5K, the lefty for the Angels. So I think that's all of them. Does that sound like we covered them?
Yeah, that's all 16. Yeah.
All right, man. No playing around today. I told you there's no room for that. We are here's what we're covering today and supplying for. We have MMA that's going to lock here in an hour. So we're providing lineups for that for our members. So dive in. You can get them right now. As soon as you sign up at dfscoachtalk.com, they'll put you right into our Discord and you'll have access to those. We have multiple baseball slates, multiple NBA Summer League slates for the last time because tomorrow's going to be the championship game. It's going to be the Knicks and Portland Trailblazers, by the way, in the championship tomorrow. And they get rings. Did you see that, Crash?
I did not see that.
They actually get a championship ring. It's pretty cool looking. They showed it on the podcast or on the telecast last night. I couldn't believe it.
So they don't get the little trophy, the WNBA trophy. Did you see that?
No.
The WNBA All-Star everybody's been talking about because they got this small little I'm trying to remember. I think it was Kelsey Plum or somebody like that was holding up this trophy, and it's literally like that big. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Somebody screwed that up.
Yeah, you should look it up when we're done. It's pretty funny.
Oh, no. That's not fair to the WNBA by a long shot.
I know.
We're also going to have final round lineups for tomorrow's or tonight's, I should say, because it's in the middle of the night for the Open. So many things going on. It is a blast, and we'd love to have you join us. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter. Also, Crash, we may have hit it while we're on this podcast. We're about to go over the 2K subscriber mark on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, we're real close.
Yeah, just a couple, maybe 2-3 people away. So if you're watching right now on YouTube, you could be that person. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, kick us over that 2K number. We'd really love that, and we'd really appreciate it. Give us a good thumbs up. Give us some comments. I'll be in there for the premiere, and maybe Crash stops by too. We'll be chatting with members and listeners in there. And also hit that little alert in the upper corner. This way, anytime any of our podcast posts, they'll let you know so you can be first to it to see what we got going. All right, man, this is where we're going to need your smarts. Where are we doing? The 7:15 p.m. slate. Now, there's a difference of one game, and it's an important one. It's the game Scherzer's pitching, whether you're on Draftkings or Fanduel. So I don't know what you prepared for on those, because we do these live, and we'll just share what we got for DraftKings and FanDuel. There isn't a 7:15 multiple allowed or supplied on Yahoo. You can play the earlier slates. They're just a single game in the evening. So pay up pitcher for your DraftKings main slate, 7:15 tonight. I don't even know what's called the main slate, late night slate, we'll call it. Yeah. What do you got?
Well, it is on DraftKings. It is Max Scherzer, 10-5 over there. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do on FanDuel.
Well, I've got mine, so think about it for a second. Scherzer, 10-5 on DK. no brainer. Just plug him in. You can't
Yeah.
chase it. It is what it is. Even if he gets hit, he's going to be 80% owned, whatever. So you just go with him. FanDuel, I'm going Sean Manaea. He's 10-2 on FanDuel. He's pitched well. I know he stung us like 4 or 5 starts ago, and we said he was dead to us, but he's pitched well again. And if I have to see that big, giant, puffy hair give up some gopher balls, I'm going to have a fit. So,
yeah.
Mr. Manaea, you better come with it again today, because you said you were dead to me, and I'm giving you new life. So 10.2 is not a giveaway either. But I'll say this. I might do this. He's 7-7 on DraftKings.
Yeah, he was going to be my value pitcher, and so because he's not a value on FanDuel, obviously at 10-2, but that's a misprice. I mean, he's faced Arizona 3 times this year. He hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in any of those starts. He had 7 shutout innings against them in the season opener.
Yeah.
So I mean, why is he 7K? His last start he pitched was in Coors, and he only allowed 2 runs in 6 1/3 innings. So, I mean, that's about as good as it gets in Coors. So, it makes no sense to me whatsoever why he's below 8K on DraftKings.
I'm going to make a prediction, and I will be able to pull the stats on this, and I think I'm going to be right. I think the combination of Scherzer and Manaea together on DraftKings for that 7-15 slate is going to be the highest owned pitching duo of any 2 guys on any DraftKings slate this year, because it makes no sense not to go there. You can't sacrifice the Scherzer, especially in cash. I mean, if you're trying to take a single bullet at GPP, then of course, but if you're playing 150 max or even, doing what we do here at Coach Talk is hand build, I mean, it's just Scherzer and Manaea, and just, make the difference in your hitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree. So I had Manaea as my value pitcher. I also like Julio Urias, up against the Angels. Okay. They've had the highest strikeout rate. Kershaw almost had a perfect game against them last night. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did see some of that.
7 innings, he was at a perfect game, and then was it Brandon Marsh, I think, that broke it up? So,
and he was our 2 brains are better than 1 pitcher.
I know. He had 52 fantasy points last night.
That was beautiful.
Yep.
Great call on your part, by the way, because I was giving you some noise, and not that I didn't like him. It's just, we had Woodruff and Manoah and stuff to pick from. You were right.
Without Trout, that Angels lineup is just completely different,
It is. Yeah. Yep.
All right,
though? I believe it or not, you say that, and here I go right up against it. I'm not going to play Urias. I just don't trust him. Every time I watch him pitch, he doesn't really have great stuff.
Right.
He's one of those pitchers, he moves it around, tries to fool you. He's just not that good.
It seems to me like, for whatever reason, whenever he is that chalk high-owned pitcher, he just gets absolutely murdered.
Absolutely. And he's not the kind of guy that just gets dipped around. He gets smashed. So,
and that's why I was kind of looking at him tonight, because I don't think anyone's going to be on him hardly at all.
I'm not going to be on him. I'm going to fade him at that price.
Yeah.
The guy that I put in for my value on FanDuel, I'm probably going to, go Manaea, but 8,700 for your man Lauer for Milwaukee. I know you've been a little scared to play him, but what do you think about him?
Well, he's actually my fade pitcher. So,
oh my God.
I just don't like the matchup for him, the way that San Francisco has been hitting lefties. I mean, they just absolutely destroyed Hader last night.
They did.
And they've been hitting a lot of lefties like that. So, especially on FanDuel, I mean, at 8,700 on DraftKings, it's a little bit more doable. But 9,800, I'm not paying that for him on FanDuel. There's just no way.
I'm probably going to chicken out then. He was going to be my punt shot,
Yeah. But, I mean, I've looked at his numbers against them, and they're not bad at all. He's done really well against them. So, I mean, it's probably a good play as far as the GPP, because
the ballpark, the cool temp. I just felt like it was a
stretch. Well, that's definitely been the case. The ball has not been, and then for whatever reason, whenever Trevor Hader got up there last night. The ball just started flying out of the park. So,
well, if you're fading a Brewers pitcher, man, I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole because you don't often do that. So
no, I don't. But I don't know. Like I said, he has decent numbers against the Giants. So I don't think it's a terrible play. He has one game back in 2019 when he was with the Padres where he got blown up a little bit. But outside of that, he has a really solid. I mean, he hasn't allowed – he's got 2 shutouts against them, 1 run allowed in his last start against them. So, I mean, he's had good numbers against them. I don't think it's a terrible play in a GPP at all.
Yeah, definitely want to get different. That's one way that's a possibility. So
definitely.
All right, what do you have for BVP on the late slate?
Somehow just lost my notes. Hang on a second.
Well, I'll go first.
I know who I have. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I actually did a BVP play. I did a BVP play on a different slate, if that's okay, because I know we were originally talking about doing all the games today.
Yep.
Well, what I have is I have Trey Mancini. He's 3,000 on Fanduel, 2,800 on Draftkings. I believe he's playing on the earlier slate. He's hit 407 against Ryan Yarbrough, 11 hits and 27 at bats. He's got 4 singles, 4 doubles, and 3 home runs. So
yeah, he's by far of all the batter versus pitcher stats today, he is by far the best as far as all the way around. And 27 is a fairly decent sample at bats. And that's a 4-10 game, by the way, Baltimore Tampa. So I love that play for that earlier slate. My 2 picks for BVP and Homer are both going to come out of the game that might be rained out. So
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's Boston and the Yankees, but I'll give these 2 now, assuming it's going to play. If it doesn't, then I will post a new BVP and HR play on Twitter. So if you're not a member and you want to get that info, we're at DFS Coach Talk. If it looks like that's going to rain out, I'll flip it. But I'm going to give you my 2 Yankees. It's no surprise. I'm not trying to, shock the world here. But my BVP play is Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
7 for 18, 3 homers, 5 ribbies. He's even walked twice, which is not that easy with Giancarlo sometimes.
True.
1339 OPS, 889 slugging, 450 OBP, and a 389 average. And I'm sticking with the guy. He's been, I don't know if I'm his agent now or what, but I keep picking Anthony Rizzo every day. Yeah. He's my home run guy. He only 16 at bats against him, but 2 of them for homers, 3 extra base hits, 1083 OPS, 750 slugging, and, nice 313 average. So I think, I just love lefties in Yankee Stadium, man. It's just such a fun place to watch those guys flick it over the wall. So
yeah, for sure. Yep. Did you give your fade, coach?
My fade pitcher? Yeah. Urias.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Even though the Angels don't have Trout, I'm still fading Urias because I don't trust him.
Let me go ahead and give you my BVP for that night slate or whatever.
Okay.
Because there was another guy that I liked, and that was Christian Vasquez. He's got 4 hits and 11 at bats. 4 hits in 7 at bats, I think it is. Yeah, 4 hits and 7 at bats against Jamison Taillon with a home run. So nice. Which was in the last game that he faced them. So I like Christian Vasquez for BVP.
Excellent. And then you just need your HR call.
My HR call is going to be on that. I don't know if it's on FanDuel, on DraftKings on the night slate. It's Eduardo Escobar. He has 5 hits and 10 at bats against Drew Smyly, and 3 of them for home runs. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Well, my stacks today are pretty simple to remember, and I'm going to do 2 different stack groups here.
Okay.
And again, the whole slate's going to change for me with that weather in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Because this isn't one where I'm just going to say, okay, that game looks bad, I'm just going to fade it, because I'm playing it until I hear differently.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not going to get stuck with 0, so I'll get them out if I have to. But, it's very convenient at times to just say, you know what, I don't even want to screw with that game because of
Mm-hmm.
the possibility of rain. And then you have a game where there's, 7 homers in it.
Yeah.
So the 2 teams I like today for my stacks, very easy to remember, New York and New York, the Mets and the Yankees. I love the Yankees and Mets, the spots that they're in these slates today. Mets, that 220 game against the Cubs. I just think they're going to smack Stroman around in the early game. That's the early game I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be surprised if they don't do it again in the second game against Drew Smiley. So you can't go wrong for me if you stack Mets in any of those, either one of the games in a doubleheader. And then again, if the weather sticks for the 7:15 night game, when I played Nick Pivetta last time, and I love Nick Pivetta because he's a bulldog, he's a hard worker, he gets after it. But man, every pitch seemed like a chore, like trying to get a corner, trying to get a fastball by somebody. When it's just like you got a pitch and it's like you wince on some of the pitches, like, and then he walks a guy, and then so it just seemed like a struggle, and you don't want to have that type of feeling against the Yankees in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's face it, when you have LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Torres, Hicks, Kiner, Falefa, Trevino, if that's the lineup, it's absolutely ridiculous how good that lineup is. And just for a guy that's not super sharp right now, I just can't not go against him. As much as I like the guy, I just can't, it is what it is.
Right. I like the Yankees and I like the Mets as well. I also like Seattle. They've won 12 in a row now. And
how did that happen? That's nuts.
They're on fire. Going up against Spencer Howard. I like that matchup. Also, like you mentioned it earlier today, Houston against Jared King. I like that. And then the Mets, like you mentioned, I like them a lot against Drew Smiley, especially. So there's a lot of different stacks you could go with today. But as far as like the night games go, the Yankees and the Mets would be mine as well.
Nice. And by the way, for the record, I had a professor in college by the name of Spencer Howard.
Oh, really?
Dr. Howard.
I'm the same guy, though, I'm guessing.
I'm thinking it might not be the same guy because he's dead, but God rest your soul, Dr. Howard. But 1-1 with an 8.04 ERA against a team that's won 13 in a row.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a hard one to swallow. So certainly can. The thing that amazed me with Seattle, I'll just make this real quick comment. They pick up Carlos Santana. They're batting him cleanup.
I know.
And he's not even that good anymore. And you look at some of the guys like Frazier and Moore and Raleigh and stuff. They're not. I don't know, how are they winning all these games?
Yeah. Well, Julio Rodriguez is a superstar in the making of one.
You know what? You have a man crush on Julio Rodriguez. That is your superhero. You know what? You were right, though. I'm gonna give you the heads up on this one. You called it before he started emerging as a superstar. Yeah, so we're gonna call him your favorite player in Major League Baseball. How's that?
He's definitely one of them. Especially for somebody that's not in the Brewers. Christian Yelich, Willie Adames are two of my favorites. But
I read an article that the Brewers were going to trade for him, by the way.
For Rodriguez?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. I can't be that cruel to tease you that bad.
Yeah, I wish that would be the case. So I guess we're going to go over to our prize picks now.
Yes, prize picks. We have one hitter, one pitcher, and then we'll give out some more to our members.
I'm going to go with my pitcher first with Scherzer over 44.5. I think he can get over that number pretty easily.
Sounds good. I'm going to go Sean Manaea and that big giant hair, and I can mention it multiple times because I'm bald. Because I'd like to borrow his hair just for a weekend. That's all. Yeah. I'm going to take over 5.5 strikeouts. I think that number is super fair against an Arizona team that is not good. Yeah. So Manaea over 5.5 strikeouts is my pitching pit play.
Okay. I'm going to check the board one more time because this plays on the early slate. So if there's something on the night slate, I'll use that instead.
You want me to give you my hitter?
Yeah, while I'm looking, why don't you go ahead and do that?
All right, for like the 30th day in a row, it feels like this guy is just they keep giving him a low number, and I keep taking him, and he keeps getting there. Anthony Rizzo, fantasy score 7 flat. I thought, in Boston or in New York against Boston, over 7. Anthony Rizzo, lock it in, baby.
They got Trout on the board. I wonder if he's going to be back in the lineup. If he is, I'm definitely not playing Urias.
Ooh.
Let's see here.
I knew that. That's why I have him as my fade pitcher.
Yeah, they still don't have. All right, I'm going to go with Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases.
That makes sense.
You definitely get there against Jose Suarez.
I know when you see those numbers on there, it's like, man, that's like nothing. They should be able to get there real quick.
Yeah, it's crazy how often they don't, though.
Yep. That's why they make money.
Yeah, exactly. They get a hit right the first at bat, and then they don't do anything the rest of the game. And then they don't go over, because a lot of people don't know this, but the only thing that counts on those total base props is a hit. Walks don't count, hit by pitch doesn't count.
Right.
So it has to be an actual hit.
Yeah. Now that's a good stat to know for sure. All right, my friend, we wanted to do this quicker today than normal, and we did, considering it was so many games. Did we forget anything?
Nope. We're ready for our Two Brains lineup.
Okay, let's dive in, and we're going to finish up with that. And again, it's for this evening slate. You picked first yesterday, so I'll pick first today. I'm not going to mess around. I'm taking Mr. Hare, Manaea 10-2 pitcher.
Mr. Hare. All right, and I will take, because you can still use, if you want to use Rizzo, you can still use him at the utility. I'm going to take Christian Vasquez at 2,800 catcher first base.
You know me well enough to know that Rizzo is my next pick.
Yep.
$3,050 ahead for our rest of our hitters. So we got a lot of spots to fill.
All right. Don't want to. Austin Slater, 2,700 outfield.
I love that you save his cash so that I can spend money on Mr. Giancarlo Stanton. So we have $2,950 per head to go. I don't know why my voice just spiked, but it's all right. Sounded like Slater from Saved by the Bell. God bless him. He passed. So
yeah, he did.
Crazy.
Justin Turner, third base, 2,900.
Don't forget, if there is rain in New York and it gets canceled, we'll be updating this for non-members, so you'll see it on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. So we'll get that out early enough, bug calling enough with a couple of changes, and get that posted. So 2,967. So we have a few options here. And, this is a guy that's been, I'm not going to do it because I get so mad when he plays bad that I'm just not, it's not worth the stress. How about if we go to, see, there's another guy. I love to play Darren Ruff, and he homers for me a lot. But he always gets pinch hit for, and it agitates the hell out of me when he gets pinch hit. So I don't want to risk that either.
Well, I will say this, Coach. So last night when Hader was struggling, they had Suter warmed up in the bullpen, ready to come in, which, I mean, if Hader would have lasted any longer and not given up the grand slam to end the game, I think he would have come in. So they didn't use Brent Suter last night. I think they probably will. Usually when they have a lefty starter, they bring him in. Yeah. So if they bring in another lefty, they would keep Ruff in the game. So I don't know that he's going to get pinch hit for it.
All right. I'll use that inside skinny, and hopefully he gets the full game. 2,600 is cheap for a guy I expect to bat third and can pop one out.
Right. That'll give us a little bit more, 3,150.
Be ready for some nasty emojis if he gets pinch hit for it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, we got some cash, second and short.
Golly, I hate to keep going San Francisco. Actually, no. Asturi Ruiz, easy for me to say, 2,200.
All right, have you been drinking?
No, sir.
Asturi Ruiz. That's really your guy?
That is my guy. Yeah.
Holy mackerel. That's really an interesting one.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's going to leave us some money on the table, but you never know what's going to happen with.
Oh wow, 4,100.
Yeah. I know. I wouldn't mind getting a Trey Turner. That was a guy I was talking about before that I was mad about because he always sucks for me. But we're a little short. Why don't I just take Willie Adames?
Okay, I like Adames today.
He's due, and that leaves us $500, which is no big deal. Nothing wrong. For people that think you have to use every nickel every time, you don't.
Absolutely not.
Plus, if somebody gets scratched, if the Yankee game gets rained, when you make your changes, then you have a little more leverage because you've got some dollars to work with. So the two brains are better than one lineup right now for this evening slate, the 7:15 slate on FanDuel. It's Sean Manaea, Anthony Rizzo, Usteri Ruiz, Justin Turner, Willie Adames, Giancarlo Stanton, Austin Slater, Darren Ruff, and Christian Vasquez. How does that sound for you, Crash?
Good to me, Coach.
All right, I hit save, so it is locked in, and it tells me that I'm going to win a lot of money on that lineup. But so. you know how our listeners can win a lot of money on that lineup?
How's that?
By hitting the thumbs up on the way out the door here. Absolutely. On YouTube and subscribing. If you're the lucky 2,000 subscriber, we don't have to give anything away because you're going to be so lucky tonight, you're going to win all the money. So do that for us. Get us over the top there and go after it. So now, again, because we always talk everything out live on the air here, what's the plan tomorrow? Am I solo or are you in?
I should be in. I'm not playing drums tomorrow, so I should be in.
Okay. No drums. I can't post the animal.
Not tomorrow.
That stinks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds good. We won't do a two brains because we're going to be wanting to get through it a little bit quicker because all the games are usually early on Sunday. So we'll get that done earlier in the morning and definitely be back from there. So any final words from you?
No, like we talked about at the beginning, we got a lot of action today across many sports. So just going to sit back and take it all in today.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. We've got some really good golf lineups going too. We have three guys from our original lineup we put in there Wednesday night that are in the top 10. So
nice.
That always makes it pretty cool. So we'll see how that rolls.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you. Check us out again, dfscoachtalk.com. You can check us all out at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter. And we will certainly be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and PrizePicks.